Chapter 1. The striving of the scholars to organise the account of Isra and Mi'raj into a single version. The scholars have striven to organise this account and gather its narrations into a single narrative, at the same time making mention of a few variant additions in order to facilitate its perusal and benefit. In this way, they gathered the narrations in one place for the people at large. This is permitted according to the rules of the experts in the field of hadith as stated by them. Many of them have used this method in many instances in which they would join up together the several narrations of different narrators of a single event, as was done with the farewell pilgrimage and some of the military raids and campaigns. The hadith master Ash-Shami did this with the account of the Prophet's night journey and ascension, as did the hadith master al-Ghaythi and a number of other scholars. Of use here is what Ash-Shami said on this question in his great book Al-Mi'raj. Know, may Allah have mercy on me and you, that each of the hadith of the companions on this subject contains something the other does not. Therefore I consulted Allah Almighty and concatenated them, rearranging the account into a single narrative, so that it would be sweeter to attentive ears, and in order for its benefit to suit all occasions. If someone says each hadith of the Mi'raj differs from the next, and the ascensions may number according to the number of their accounts, why then did you make all of them into a single account? I say, the author of Zad al-Ma'ad, Ibn al-Qayyim, rahimahullah, said, this is the path of the feeble-minded among the literalists of the Zahiri school, who are authorities in transmitted texts. If they see in the account a wording that differs from the version of one of the narrators, they multiply the occurrence of the event accordingly. The correct view is what the Imams of text transmission have said, namely that the Mi'raj took place once, in Makkah, after the beginning of prophethood. It is a wonder how these have claimed that it took place repeatedly. How could they countenance the conclusion that every time 50 prayers are prescribed upon him, that he goes back and forth between Musa and his Lord until they become 5. And his Lord says, I have decreed what is due to me and have reduced the burden of my slaves, only for him to come a second time with 50 prayers which he decreases again 10 by 10. The hadith master Imad ad-Din Ibn Kathir said in his history, after noting that Malik ibn Sa'sa''s version did not make mention of Al-Quds, some of the narrators would omit parts of the report due to its being known, or due to forgetfulness, or because he would mention only what he considered important, or because one time he would feel eager to relate it completely, while another time he would tell his public what is of most use to them. He who relates every differing narration to a separate occurrence, thereby affirming several ascensions, has strayed widely and has said something indefensible, failing to fulfill his pursuit. The reason is that all of the versions contain his meeting with the prophets and the prescription of the prayers upon him. How then could one defend multiplying these occurrences? This understanding is extremely far-fetched, nor was it related from any of the Salaf. Whereas if this had indeed taken place several times, the Prophet ﷺ would have reported it to his community, and the people would have transmitted it often.